All right. Hello, Pepper. Let's begin just letting the body come into this first position, into Sukhasana, easy pose. And just allowing your breath to be just as it wants to be. Becoming established in your practice, you start to recognize that you sort of have your own little ritual and your own way to land onto the mat. And every day is a little bit different, so just letting yourself observe how you land today and what feels good in your breath and body. Just noticing how you arrive in the mind and what might be carrying over from the day, from the past week, or anything else that might be heavy on your shoulders. Just begin to notice. You might find a little bit of fidgeting or adjustment as you arrive, but then letting the body come into stillness so that you can really notice what's happening on the deeper layers, the deeper levels. Begin to establish your diaphragmatic breathing, allowing the belly to gently draw the air in and to gently let it release and press out. Becoming connected to the movement of the diaphragm and then finding that balance of effort and ease. Letting it become a natural yet conscious process. To open our practice today, just as a little point of contemplation, is on this word asana. Usually asana is defined as posture, and we think of that just as a physical posture. And while it's partially true, there's a deeper understanding of what that means in Sanskrit. So asana actually is referring to a seat to rest the mind and body. It's referring to a posture, yes, but it's everything that goes into that. It's the ease that comes into every posture that allows you to take a seat. It allows you to find a sense of rest, a sense of stability in each and every pose and position that you take on and off your mat. And so as you take this first posture, see if you can really get into that meaning of the word asana as a place to rest your body and mind. And we'll begin to find some gentle movement here, keeping this ease and this place to rest in mind as you begin to add on and move through your practice. So you can begin by just letting the hands come off the thighs and circling the wrists around. Just noticing how it feels. You can switch directions whenever it feels good to you. You don't need to do an even way both directions, but just finding a sense of balance. And then continue to circle the arms and bring them all the way overhead, circling wrists and elbows and shoulders until the arms get all the way overhead, and then bring the palms to touch. You can take your gaze up or not. It's up to you and what feels better for your neck right now. But just gently hold the palms together. And take a few breaths, letting the gaze come up past the thumbs, maybe finding a little more lift through the shoulders. Find that space that starts to come into the torso and into the spine. And then as you exhale, flip your palms out and just reach out to a T shape, almost like a big morning stretch, letting the chest lift, the fingers draw back, and press out through the heels of the hands. You can wiggle your fingers here and then really open the palms, reaching out from your thumbs and pinky fingers. Press like you have two walls on each palm. And then inhale, lift the arms back up. And as you exhale, we're going to find an eagle bind. You can bring the right arm under left to start, either holding onto shoulders or binding the hands. And find that point right in the middle first, where your forearms press forward. You find a nice lift through your spine and reestablish that connection to your diaphragmatic breathing. Let the body and mind rest in this posture first. And then with that ease, begin to move with your breath. Inhale to lift the elbows just a little bit, lifting up. And exhale, elbows to the belly button, drawing it in. Inhale, lift, and start to find your own rhythm and pace. Exhale to draw it in. And one more time on your own. Release the arms all the way out to the sky. Exhale, draw the hands right down to center this time, elbows wide, and press into the hands. Find that activation between the palms as the arms start to shake, and you press a little bit harder, and a little bit harder. And release the arms. Inhale, sweep them up overhead, and find your eagle bind the other way with the left arm coming underneath the right. Find center first. Press the forearms forward, breathing in and out. Relaxing the face and the jaw, letting the mind rest. Much less thinking going into the practice today and more observing. Inhale, lift your elbows, lift your chin. Exhale, draw it in, just allowing your body to be guided by your breath. Do 2 more cycles on your own here. Letting go of any sense of perfection or doing anything right or wrong. And just allowing the stretch to come into the body. Let your body have this place to rest. And coming back through center, release the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart center. This time we're going to keep a little gap in between the palms, and you can close your eyes, just directing your gaze downwards to take a moment for your intention. Imagine planting a seed in between your palms. The seed is your intention. And with each breath, starting to nurture that intention and making commitment to let that be what guides you today. Let yourself get quiet enough and easy enough to allow this intention to come in. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, releasing that intention, and then exhale into a gentle twist to the left. Take one breath on your own, lengthening the spine, gently looking over the shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, and exhale, twist the other way. Just one full breath to articulate and twist. Come back through center, inhale, and exhale to come over the shins or swing the legs out, coming into tabletop. As soon as you arrive in the position, as soon as you find that place where your body can rest, begin to move through cow and cat on your own. Taking your time to feel out both of the postures. And if you'd like, to move the spine in any other way that feels good to you today. Begin to really listen to your breath here and establish the Ujjayi breath. Let a fluidity start to come into your movement to help iron out any of the wrinkles and rigidity or tension that might have come in from your day or that might have been patterned from long ago, creating or reinforcing a new pattern of ease and a place to rest within your body. Finishing out whatever cycle you're on here, whatever movement, and then come back into tabletop. Spread the knees wide, toes together to child's pose. Let everything melt as you come down to the mat, including the shoulders and the biceps, the elbows, and the arms. All of the arms. Take a few easy breaths to remind yourself of asana, giving yourself a place to rest your body and your mind. It doesn't mean that there's no effort that comes into any particular posture, but it's an awareness that even in the effort, there's always the balance of ease. On your next inhale, come up onto your shins. Lift your arms all the way overhead. Exhale, come into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Inhale for cow. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Just find a little bit of movement here, stretching out the backs of the legs. You can pedal the feet, bump the hips, or shake the head. Finding the grounding through the hands, spreading out the fingers. On your next inhale, come high onto the toes and roll forward to plank pose, holding nice and strong here. Connect deeply to your breath. We're going to hold here for a moment until that shaking starts to come in, until that heat starts to build. And pay special attention to when that starts to happen and stay super connected to that sense of ease that you started with in the posture. And keep building into it, just feeling yourself become super aware of every single cell in the body, activating, vibrating, becoming aware of the toes, the position of the heels, the head, any tension in the neck or shoulders. Stick with it. Always an option to take a break when you need it, but challenging yourself to hold the ease right beyond that edge. Lower the knees to the mat, half chaturanga as you lower all the way to the belly. Baby cobra, engage the legs, lift the head and shoulders, and holding here for 5 strong breaths. Strongly engage through the glutes, all 10 toes on the mat. Find the spaciousness through the spine, especially with the shoulder blades drawing down and the neck staying long. One more breath. Release into crocodile. Hands come under the forehead. Let the hips rock side to side. Pause the movement, resting in this position that allows your nervous system to reset. It helps it come back into a place where the body can truly rest and heal. Feel your body getting heavier and notice if there's any areas that are holding on. Let the body and mind find its seat here. Bring the hands back under the shoulders, re-engage the legs, and then coming back into baby cobra. Start low, and then see if you can press into the hands, coming into a high cobra slowly, slowly, just to your extent that you can hold the posture. Beautiful. Lower back down, pressing up through a half push-up, and then tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Find yourself in the middle of the mat. If you need to shift where your hands or feet are at, Just positioning yourself here and maybe a little more movement coming in. We're going to begin to flow here with the breath. On the next inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step through between the hands and lower the back knee. Inhale, one breath, arms rise up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step through, lower the back knee. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Again, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step through. Low crescent lunge, breathe in. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Other side, inhale, left leg lifts. Step through, lower the knee. Low crescent lunge. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step through. This time, back leg stays lifted. Flying lunge. Inhale, arms sweep alongside the body. Exhale, plant the palms, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Step through. Flying lunge, breathe in. Hands to the mat, step back. Same thing, inhale, right leg lift. Step through. Flying lunge. Step back. Left leg lifts. Step through. Flying lunge, open the chest. Hands down, step back. Inhale, right leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip this time. Look under the armpit. Straighten the leg, breathe in. Step through. Flying lunge. And then sweep the arms all the way up, crescent lunge. Let the shoulders relax here, taking a full breath. On your exhale, plant the palms, downward facing dog. One more time, left leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip. Straighten the leg and step through. Flying lunge, all the way up, crescent lunge. Take a full breath. And on the exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Find the stillness. Bend the knees, gaze forward, walk, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Space your feet hip distance apart and yogi toe lock. Peace fingers come around the big toes. And then give yourself a nice deep stretch here, grounding the big toes into the hands as you gently draw the head down. Elbows point out to the sides. Take a few deep breaths here, bringing in that ujjayi breath, that deep yogic breathing. The knees might still be a little bent, keeping the thighs close towards the belly. Relax through the jaw. You might even let the lips part. You can feel the effect of gravity on the face. Then release from that deep fold. You can take the hands out. Bring the hands to the waist and come up halfway, engaging the legs, feeling the lower belly engage, and then draw your elbows towards one another as you lift all the way up. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, hands come into Anjali Mudra, holding on to that seed of intention at your heart center. Take a moment to pause, to not rush through a very important posture, asana, mountain pose. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, sun salute. Inhale, halfway lift, belly engaged. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to plank. Lower down through your version of chaturanga and going either to cobra or up dog, your choice. Feel free to play in this flow. We're going to do 3 of these sun salutes. And I know you're familiar here, so you can find your own pace, add on or take out where you see fit. Each time you come to downward facing dog, taking 3 full breaths. Feeling the length in the rib cage. There's even a little lift in the lower ribs as to not collapse. After your 3rd breath, make your way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Bring the hands to the waist and come up in one straight line, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, sun salute. Inhale, halfway lift. Stepping or hopping back to move through your next flow. Thread together the postures with your breath. Remembering to take a seat in the mind, to not have to perfect, to not have to do, but to really just allow your body to be with your breath, your body to be in this moment. After your 3rd breath, make your way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Bring the hands to the waist, engage through the quads, and then lift all the way up. Tadasana. One more time. Inhale to begin again. Folding down. Lift. Refold, plant the palms, step or hop back to your flow. Meeting in downward facing dog. And then lower into child's pose. Always an option to move the arms wherever they feel best at this moment. Maybe it's a reverse prayer or sweeping them around the back, or even just placing hands underneath of the head. Remind yourself of your intention and just check in at this point to see if you've been guided by this intention. Maybe starting to feel or visualize what it would be like for this seed to start to bloom or start to grow, start to show up in your life, starting with this time on your mat. And prepare to move. We're going to move into our next flow. Coming up onto the shins, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, tabletop, tuck the toes. Inhale for cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press the thighs back, heels down. Gaze forward, walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale to reverse swan dive this time. Sweep the arms up and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, chair, sitting a little lower. Exhale, Tadasana. Feel the strength of the legs. One more time, chair. Press into your heels, rise up, Tadasana. Inhale, arms come overhead, baby back bend, engage the legs. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Wait here, we're going to mix it up. Refold and then come back into your chair pose. Lift your arms straight in front of you. Imagine you're holding like a ball in front of your heart. Now put a high heel onto your right foot. Lift up through that right heel. Place the right heel down, lift the left heel. Switch again, right heel lifts. This time, lift the whole right foot up, bringing the heel towards your backside. Good. Send it all the way back into warrior three. Send the arms out to the sides like airplane wings. Press into that standing leg. Feel yourself growing tall. And then step all the way back into your crescent lunge, sweeping the arms up and open warrior two. Flow with your breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rebend the knee, warrior two. Just one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. This time, straighten your legs and point the toes towards the long edge of the mat, finding a wide leg stance. Engage through your legs and feel your tailbone gently drawing down. Breathe in. Exhale, twist. Right hand comes to left foot. Then inhale, come right back up through center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. We're going to mix it up. Inhale, right hand, left foot. Exhale here. Inhale, look up at the top arm. Exhale, look back down. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, look up, articulate the twist. And exhale, look back down. Inhale, come to center. First side, right hand, left foot. Look up, open your chest. Look down, exhale. Inhale, center. One more time, other way, twist. Look up, inhale, open the chest. Exhale, look down. Inhale, come through center. Goddess pose, turn the heels in, toes out, and bend the knees and elbows. Settle in and find the posture. Connect to your breath, allowing the body and mind to take a seat here. We're going to find an eagle bind through the arms, bringing the right arm under the left. Bind the hands. And then starting to find like this kundalini sway, almost like if your hands were as a sword. You're going to sway in a big S curve, starting to come into a fold in your goddess pose. And then when you get to the bottom, you're going to take a big scoop up. Inhale, scoop the arms straight up. And then exhale, big S curves. Cut through the space in front of you. Letting the hips and ankles move. Scoop it up from the middle. And one more time, big S curve. Sway it down. Inhale, scoop it up. And then either step or hop your feet together and come into full eagle posture. Right leg coming over top of the left, either double binding around the ankle or balancing on the toes. Garudasana, eagle pose. This pose is about strength. It's a protective kind of pose. Let yourself observe what it feels like to rest in this posture. And again, that doesn't mean there's no effort, but to find that peacefulness in it. And you're simply going to come out of the pose. You can step the feet together, come into Tadasana, and just close the eyes and settle in to mountain pose. Let your body come into natural alignment, whatever that feels like to you right now. Bringing in the space, the freedom to breathe, that balance of effort and ease, and a natural sway in the body, just like a tree in the breeze. That organic sort of sway that always brings you back to balance, back to center. You're simply going to take then this little step to the front of your mat. You can open the eyes and just reset at the very front. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Take a little back bend, engaging the legs. Exhale, swan dive, fold it all the way down. Halfway lift, inhale. Back to our chair pose. Take your fold and then bend the knees. Arms come right in front of you. Lift the left heel. Lower it down, lift the right heel. Lower it down, lift the left heel. Draw the foot in towards the back side. And then send it all the way back into your warrior three, straightening the standing leg, taking up all of your space. Deep breaths. Step back into crescent lunge. Inhale to rise up, and then open up, warrior two. Move with your breath. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Breathing in, lift up. Breathing out, warrior two. Straighten the legs, come into a wide stance on the edge of your mat. And again, we'll move into that twist. We'll go right into the second version of it where we take an extra breath to twist a little deeper. Breathe in center. Exhale, right hand, left foot. Inhale, press into that bottom hand. Look up towards the top. Exhale, look back down. Come up through center and twist the other way. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, look down. One more time each way. Let the breath guide you. Come up through center. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Lift up from the arches of the feet, engage the quads, and then draw the knuckles down and off the lower back. Imagine you have your superwoman cape on here, holding steady in a super strong gust of wind. And then taking your fold, hinging from your hips, go slowly, slowly. Maybe the arms come off the lower back, lifting overhead as you fold deeply. See if you can place a little more weight into the toes. Might feel a little scary, like you're falling forward, so find that balance. Release the hands down and bring them right underneath the face. Or you can yogi toe lock again, peace fingers coming around the big toes, elbows pointed out as you draw the head down. Let the back of the neck grow long. And release. Bring the hands to the waist. Come up in a straight line, slow, 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 hinging from the hips. And then right into your goddess pose. Heels come in, toes out, and open the arms into eagle or into cactus. Left arm comes underneath of right. Eagle, bind the arms. Now find that sway, moving the hips, drawing big S curves as you slowly lower down. Scoop up from the bottom, inhale, and sweep it down. It's like you're cutting through a thick fog or cutting through a veil, making the space clear in front of you. This sort of S pattern we talk about a lot in energy medicine too. It's that figure eight. It's that natural movement of energy through the body. One more time to scoop it up. And then step or hop the feet together, coming into full eagle pose. Left thigh crosses over right. Settle in and breathe. Finding the peace. And release, mountain pose. Take a moment to close the eyes. Let the body come into natural alignment. And simply take a step to the front of your mat to reset. Come right into your chair pose. This time, bring the hands to the heart center. Lift up your right heel. Lift the right heel to your backside. Open up into warrior three. Arms sweep out, legs extend. Breathe and stretch out through the shoulders, through the head, through the heel. And this time we're going to bring it back together. So bringing that right foot back in, bringing the hands back in. Try to coordinate that movement so the hands touch and the foot touches at the same time. Left heel lifts. Draw it in towards your backside. And then open up, warrior three. Slow transition. Imagine you're an airplane flying through the sky, the sort of stability that you would find, the natural sway and movement, the perspective. Then bring it all back together, slow, slow, slow. Foot and hand comes together at the same time, chair pose. And we're gonna sit all the way down to the mat and right into boat pose. Try to keep your hands lifted and lift the shins. If you can, straighten the legs. Good, point through the toes. Keep all the fingers together like you're directing the energy. Even in Navasana, finding a seat for the body and mind. With the shaking. And release the toes down slowly. Slowly roll the rest of the spine down, keeping the feet planted. And then take a full body stretch. Reach the arms, reach the legs. And exhale, settle in, just letting the body relax onto the mat. Draw your right knee in towards the chest. Give it a hug. You can find a little movement side to side. And then cross it over the body into a twist. Right arm goes out to the side, gaze can follow. Option to extend the right leg if you have the space, holding behind the knee. And starting to slow it down again, to cool down. If you've lost a connection with your breath, reestablish that here. Begin to unwind. Draw the right knee back in towards the chest. If you need to realign the hips, you can do so. And then bend the left knee, half happy baby. Right hand comes to the outside of the right foot. Knee comes towards the armpit. And you can let the left knee roll out to the side, kind of like a counterbalance, and just rock the hips gently side to side. Good. Pause the movement. Reground the left foot, and then extend that right leg all the way up towards the sky. You might be able to hold onto the foot still or hold behind the calf. As you bend the knee, bring the ankle over top of the left knee into figure four. Hands come by your sides. Press into your left foot, figure four bridge. Lift the hips up, that right knee opening. Lower the hips back down and draw the left thigh in towards the chest for a figure four stretch. Take 3 steady breaths here to have a seat, to find that ease. And release, right leg down the mat, left knee comes in towards the chest. Give it a little movement side to side. And then when you're ready, move into your twist, crossing it over the body. Let your attention drop a little deeper into the sensation and just dropping into the overall experience of your practice. Slowly start to release from your twist. You can realign your hips on the mat, draw that knee back in towards your chest, and then bend your right knee, half happy baby. Right knee rolls out to the side, a little movement left and right in the hip. Pause the movement, reground your right foot, and extend the left leg up towards the sky. Holding on wherever you can onto that left leg. Nice deep breaths. And as you release, figure four, cross the ankle over the knee, hands by your sides. Make sure that right foot is underneath of the knee and then press the hips up into a figure four bridge. And lower back down, draw the shape into your chest, figure four stretch. 3 breaths. Release both feet to the mat, bridge pose. Align the heels under knees and lift the hips up. Option to interlace the fingers behind the back or hold on to the edges of your mat. Taking 3 more steady breaths, really directing your attention into your belly and letting the exhale be complete. Breathe all the way out so the belly button gets as close to the spine as it can. After your 3rd breath, release the hips back down slowly, slowly. Extend the legs down the mat and your arms overhead. Interlace the fingers and press the palms overhead like you're flipping the palms up. You can bring the legs pretty close together and flex the feet. We're going to do a little Mula Bandha breathing here, engaging into that root of the body. It's kind of like drawing the lower belly in and up or squeezing from the buttocks. And we'll do that on the exhales. So take a nice deep breath in and just stretch apart. And as you exhale, engage Mula Bandha deep into the root and lowest part of the core. As you inhale, release that hold. And exhale, re-engage Mula Bandha. Inhale, release. And exhale, one more time, re-engage. Lower belly draws in and up. And release. Bend both of the knees, hands come back down to your sides. For reclined cobbler's pose, knees draw apart. Notice how it feels if you want to place any blocks underneath of the thighs to support you tonight. The hands could stay just as they are, almost like Shavasana, or rest them intuitively on the body. becoming as still as you've been all day. Being as relaxed as you've been all day. Let your breath slow down to about a pace of 8. Breathing in for 8 and out for 8. And releasing the technique of the breath, allowing the body to breathe naturally. Slowly begin to draw the knees together, taking almost a half a minute to do so, 30 seconds. Feeling the lower belly gently engage, protecting the lower back. Feeling as if you're almost pressing together the air. Almost there. Reground the feet and then heel toe your feet to the outside edges of the mat as the knees come together. Take the next moment or two to ask your body, ask your mind if there's any last movement or breath work that you would like to take to round out your practice tonight. Before we come into a final resting posture, give yourself this freedom to do whatever it is that you need to do now. And let that come from a place of stillness, from not from habit, not from ego or needing to do more, but really asking and listening if there's anything left for you. And you're more than welcome to come into your final resting posture anytime that you'd like or as soon as you're ready. I encourage using a pillow under the knees or under the head or some kind of prop to just get a little more comfortable tonight. Notice where your mind is now and gently bring it back to your breath. For the next 10 breaths, allow the exhale to be a little longer than the inhale. You can use the Ujjayi technique to lengthen that exhale. Think of these next few breaths as a technique to let go, to totally empty the mind and the breath. Let it be a setup for your sleep tonight. And after that 10th breath, and maybe you lost count, and that's okay, you can take your final resting pose if you feel you need to modify it all, to let go of all technique, and to just allow the awareness to gently rest with the breath in this final posture of Shavasana. With one more opportunity on your mat tonight to contemplate what it means to take asana, to practice asana, to practice finding a place to rest the body and the mind. Letting your tongue relax, letting the eyes get heavy, and letting whatever is here be here without needing to change it or to fight it or perfect it. Breathe into your sense of wholeness, perfectly imperfect, and in that way, you're always whole. Let your mind drop beyond the physicalness of the body into the emotional layers. Let it drop beyond the emotions and into your most heartfelt desires. Let it drop beyond those desires and into your inner knowledge and intellect and wisdom. Let yourself drop even deeper beyond that layer of what you know and what you think you know into this deep core, almost a darkness of your center, into a nothingness and into a wholeness. Become aware of your breath once again, noticing how at these deeper levels that it might even pause for a moment, It might become slow or shallow. And gently start to deepen your breath, coming back up from that center. Feeling this energy from your core start to move out through your toes and fingers, making its way back to the surface. And when you're ready, bending the knees and gently rolling over to your side. And pressing up into a cross-legged seat. Bring both hands over the heart center, one over the other. Find a place to rest back in Sukhasana and begin to circle the hands in the clockwise direction on the heart. And pause that movement and sealing in your practice with gratitude, with peace, and with whatever other qualities you've cultivated today, sealing all of that in here. Thank you for joining me in this practice tonight. Thank you for dedicating to your practice and continuing to show up. I hope you have a really beautiful evening carrying this peace and gratitude off your mat tonight. Namaste.